today we're going to be looking into non-duality. What does non-duality is about? The world as a mirror, and then one single field, all right, of vision, and one single field of power. Okay, and so stay tuned and just enjoy the ride together. We both looked at the very nature of life, the limitation of thought, all right, our response to the mystery of life, to the field of life. And quite a number of us gave okay, and the attitude towards memory is born out of the understanding, all right, that all that you know is not all there is, right? Okay, we must learn to be humble, all right, towards this very mystery, and that is demonstrated by the trust, right? By the trust that we expresses by that understanding. Okay, and personally, that has really been a work for me. It has, it's really been a beautiful work for me, and you don't have to belong to religion, all right, to understand you, to understand the environment in which you find yourself, because the environment is very much you. You understand what I'm saying? Each time I mention the word you, don't always think of this physical entity. Think of a null person. You get what I'm saying? Yes, because when we talk about the organism, we talk about its environment also, right? Yes, because the moment you detach the organism from its environment, all right, that will lead to the end of life. Okay, and so what together makes up that organism is not just the entity itself. It is inclusive of the environment in which the organism finds itself. And so you is including all of your environment. Okay, not just what you think is the physical environment, also your mental environment. Okay, your mental environment. And so by the time you reflect back on all of the agents through which you were socialized, all right, you'll discover that at some point who you are was based on all of that mental mode, all right, mental mode. And as you evolve, you realize that where the great deconstruction lies is not even the outward institutions, right? They are your mental mode you should look into. The mental mode, your belief system, your thinking pattern. I like to call it then your personal city, right? Okay, those modes that constitute the basis of your thinking. And one of the most difficult things for people to do is to reflect on themselves, right? Yes, we hardly look into ourselves, and that's why we are not really changing. Do you get what I'm saying? We are not changing. Change is a difficult, experience for those who are always looking outward. They want to see, the fault is always others, right? They're always looking at, what troubles them from outside, looking at, the fault in others, how bad others are, right? But they never see themselves, okay? And that's why change is a difficult, occurrence with us, right? And the essential basis for change is self-reflection, inner reflection, or a deep sense of introspection. By the time you know how to look within in complete, with complete openness, honesty, right? You're going to discover, your world. You get what I'm saying? Your world, your mental mode, right? Your shadows. And so this is where and how you begin, your inner engineering, all right, in order to be a better human being. Okay? And in this second class, I want us to examine, to inquire into something very tremendously important, okay? And that is everything we see as a mirror of who we are. I mean, this is such a powerful realization, all right, for me personally. And I believe that when you understand it for yourself, it is going to bring about a tremendous change. It's going to cause, a significant change as far as your journey is concerned, and as far as your personal evolution is concerned. All right, the world as a mirror. The world is as we perceive it to be, right? The world is as we are. Okay? And so, if I say everything as a mirror, okay, that means that whatever you see out there, it's a reflection of who? It's a reflection of you. All right? That act of reflection, all right, is a demonstration of a deeper sense of intelligence. Because people see in separation, right? An observer and the observed split, right? Object and subject split. It's how we view the world, okay? It's how we view the world. And so we look out there, okay, it's just there, and we look at ourselves, okay? This is a form, we are just here right now, and then I'm separate from you, and all of that, okay? Often that way of seeing has not really produced the change we are looking for, right? Yes. And I think religion falls into this mess also, right? Yes. And that's why an average religious person do not evolve, right? An average religious person hardly embrace change, okay? An average religious person is quick to see, do you get what I'm saying? Is quick to see that which he thinks is what? It's outside. But he never noticed the movement of his own thoughts. He never understands the structure of his own thinking. And because of that, you now see the blind leading the blind. You get what I'm saying? And so most of that circle, it's always the blind leading the blind. It's always the blind telling people that they can't see. Do you get what I'm saying? And so just imagine if the blind leads the blind, both of them will fall inside what? They will fall inside the gutter, right? And so you that have something in your eyes, you have not removed it, you want to what? You want to remove something in the eyes of another, says Jesus, right? And it's a very powerful statement that if you and I really sit down to understand the structure of that statement, you will discover that it is such a statement that takes you deeper into yourselves. And it's always the message of what? Of the man. Look, the kingdom is with you, is within you. The blind can lead the blind. Remove the log in your eye so you can see clearly to what? Right? You know, it's such a very powerful but funny statement, right? Because the way you see, it's a function of the condition of your what? Of your eyes, right? Yes, the moment your eyes is having some little distortion, that's how everything is going to what? Everything is going to happen. Have you noticed at times when everything becomes blur, right? Like the things you are seeing, they are looking what? They are looking blur. It's not that the things are blur, is the condition of your sight, of your vision. And so by the time you eventually correct that abnormally, right? You will not discover that the real problem was not in the object of what you think you were seeing. The real problem was what? Was very much subject, to you. And so when he says that when you look into, remove the log in your eyes so you can see clearly to remove the log in another's eyes, right? Yes. By the time you fulfill the first task, you realize that the first task is eventually the what? Such a very, such a powerful, insight into the human structure and how to, deal with our inner issues. All right. And so the word is as a mirror, right? And on that basis, one must function out of that dual nature of consciousness, right? Sorry, non-dual what? Non-dual. Okay? Non-dual. Let's just call it what? Non-dual consciousness or non-duality, right? Now, this is so important. When you see the word as a mirror, then that vision is based on what? Non-duality. That vision is non-duality. All right. And non-duality, has been an ancient discourse, right? Amidst religious mysticism in Hinduism, Buddhism, right? I think in some aspect of Islam, yes, that's Sufism, right? Too. And even in Christianity too, but not the mainstream Christianity, because the mainstream Christianity is completely rooted in separation. And so the foundation upon which the mainstream Christianity is based is a deep sense of separation and duality, and eventually begin to preach a returning back. Do you get what I'm saying? And so you are saved. Before you are saved, you are in bondage. You are united with God. Before you are united with God, you were separated from Him through the sin of Adam. All of that. And so it's a movement from duality to what? It's a movement from duality to connection. Because connection is actually different from non-duality, right? Because there's nothing you are connecting. It's just one web. All right? One web of reality. Okay? And so that's what you find with mainstream Christianity, a movement from separation to connection. All right? And that is a very weak, do you get? It's a very weak, it's a weak way, right? To view our, to view the very nature of existence. Okay? And, and our own place as the expression of that, field of reality. All right? And so, non-duality. All right? Everything is what? Everything is one, right? Everything is one. Now, the organic aspect of that truth, all right, it's a walk, W-A-L-K. It's a walk, Okay? Because the organic aspect of that truth will call you into looking into the structure of your vision, right? Yes. And so it's not just a philosophy. And by the way, philosophy is not a bad word, right? Not a bad thing. Just love of wisdom. I mean, what else can you love if not wisdom? Is it not through wisdom that a house is built? It's through wisdom. All right? And by the way, lazy people can't be philosophers, right? Yes. Lazy people can't be philosophers. Okay? Not everybody wants to think. And because people don't think, they are easily what? They are easily bound. Easily bound. They are easily, caught up in religious falsehood. Okay? And so it's just people escape common sense. All right? When they don't subscribe to philosophy that makes them think of the how and the why of things, rather than the direct definition of what religion defines something and say, yes, this is it, believe it. No, philosophers do not what? Do not go that way. They probe into why and how of things, and we should be we should always do that, and because it's very important for our mental health. All right. So the organic aspect of non-duality, it's a walk. All right. It's a walk that begins to lead you inside, and so it is a walk that is inside, towards inside. Do you get what I'm saying? And so the darkness of the other eventually makes it your what? Right? Now the darkness of the other eventually what? Makes it your darkness. The demon of the other eventually makes it your what? Makes it your demon. Right? Now, conquering or dealing with your demon, okay? Dealing with your demon, which is a better word. Dealing with your demon, all right? Okay, let me not talk about how we are to deal with the demon. That will come later, but let me just hang on this. You see, your demon or the demon of the other is your what? It's your demon. Therefore, the issue is never against the person, right? Yes, it's never against the person. As a matter of fact, there should be nothing in the world that you are against. When you are against it, you are against yourself. I mean, we should understand what non-duality is, right? You cannot be. And guess what? You cannot deal with anything that you are against. Right? Yes. I mean, you can look into the credibility of what I just said in virtually all mystical what? All mystical traditions, including Christianity, if you understand what the symbolisms are all about. Right? You said the death we sin by being what? By being a sin. Not against it, but being it. Loving your shadows, loving your demons. All right? That produces, the very power, all right, that brings it, oh my God, do you get what I'm saying? That brings it to an end. It's not a fight against it. There is no war. If there is a war, it's something you are creating, right? And so you are never against the person. You are never against, even in respect to the shadow of the person. It could be his weakness, it could be his anything. You are never what? You are never against it. Do you understand? Because You don't deal with things like that, right? I mean, it's a very powerful understanding. Okay? And so, the shadow of the other, it's actually your what? Your shadow. The number one reason for that is because whatever this human being is capable of doing, even if you think you cannot do it, it's not a function of you cannot, right? You don't say you can. You can actually what? Can do it. Maybe you just don't want to what? Or you don't have the zeal. But if as a function of ability, you can what? You can do it. I can't kill somebody. You can actually kill somebody. I cannot be drunk. You can actually be what? You can actually be drunk. You see. And in most cases, whatever that disgusts us about others is always a reflection of what is, of what is in, do you understand? Of what makes up our unconscious. You get what I'm saying? Yes. Of what makes up our unconscious. Now, you know this. Now, you may not flow. You may not flow with how that shadow play out with that person in a given expression, right? But then you may want to condemn the person for that particular what? Forgetting that you have same shadow. Maybe that same shadow is playing out what? Is playing out differently. Do you get what I'm saying? Shadow is what? It's shadow. And so do you want to deal with the log in other people's eyes without what? Looking at your own structure. And like I always say, when you look within yourself, you will realize that, oh boy, this guy in this mirror is capable of what? He's capable of being walked upon for the rest of my life. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, the purpose of all of this is to obliterate that dual vision. That what? A dual vision, right? A dual vision is what dualizes the field of power. Is what? Yes. The vision. A dualized vision is what fragments the field, that holistic field of power. I spoke about this in my book, Sacred Shabbat. All right? The field of power. The moment you harmonize all shadow and, all shadows and light, all demons and angels, all gods and devils, the moment you harmonize everything within yourself, you become a god. You what? You become a god. God is the only, oh my God, God is that to which nothing is against. You understand? Nothing is against God. Oh God. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nothing is against God. So non-duality is what in religious term you can call God. That which you call God. Do you understand? The harmony with God comes the wholeness of that very field of power. And this is why, is for Christianity, this is an understanding that most of them are not going to ever put up with. Why? Because the religion needs to be a going concern. The structure on the base of his belief system needs to be a going concern. And if the organization or the structure must be a going concern, then such a structure must seek to maintain the consistency of war between two opposites, God and devil. They must never reconcile. What has light got to do with darkness? But I tell you, there is no light if there is no darkness. And if there is no darkness, there's what? There is no light. How do you know if you don't know down? How do you know up if you don't know down? How do you know darkness if you don't know light? How do you know light if you don't know what is darkness? And so, don't think you know what you are saying. Don't think you've not really sat down to think about this. You have only read it. You have only heard people talk about it. You've not really looked into the very nature of this. Right? That God is what you call that non-dual reality. And it is not an objective being. It is, do you understand? It is a reality. Do you understand? With a man who has waking up to what? To himself. When you wake up to yourself, on the foundation of that awakening comes the reconciling of what? Of all opposites. Do you understand? And that in turn produces a single feed of what? A single feed of vision. With the single feed of vision comes the single feed of power. And when all the power belongs to you, do you understand? Then all life phenomena becomes your expression. If all life phenomena becomes your expression, then choice blossom. Do you understand? And so you can actually do this, but you will not do it. Not that something outside is pushing you to do it. I say, the devil pushed me to do it. I don't know, it was the devil. I couldn't. God just what? So you became a pawn between two what? Between two opposite forces. You don't think that way. Right? And so non-duality produces a single feed of vision, right? A what? Single feed of vision, right? Yes. Do you understand? Without the single feed of vision, there cannot be wholeness. There cannot be that whole unified feed of power, right? Except the eyes be single, the body will what? If the eyes is single, then the body will be full of light, says Jesus, right? Yes, that is so powerful. I don't know why you can't understand that. Do you understand? Just sit down and understand it. When your eyes are single, then your bodies are full of light. Do you get what I'm saying? So when this understanding of non-duality becomes the basis of your operation, then you function out of the realm of a single feed of vision. Okay? The moment this happens, then you cease to be a pawn between two what? Between two opposite forces. You won't be praying for light as against darkness. You won't be trying to serve God so the devil won't make a mess of you. If I don't pray, the devil will make a mess of me. That is absolutely nonsensical. Why? Do you understand? You become a victim. Do you get? But a man that has unified these opposite forces within his own heart is the real God. Is what? Is the real God. You must, oh my God. You see, is the real God. The man that has unified within his own heart the opposite, the forces, the opposite forces, so to speak, right, is the real authentic God. It is not the kind of God that is against the devil, nor the kind of devil that is against the God. But that unified field of wholeness, where your God is not against your devil. You can actually be very good, but you can also be evil. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can be evil. You can be so wonderful nice, but you can actually be very wicked. Do you understand? And that you no longer see that aspect of being wicked as something that is there coming from one force outside of you, and only good, God inside of you, is producing the good. Then the devil outside is pushing you to do something bad. Therefore, depends on which tone you dance to, right? No, you are not a pawn, you are the center. You are what? You are the field. Okay? You are the field. Your God is not against your devil, and your devil is not against your God. Your angel is not against your demon, and your demon is not against your angel. By the time that realization dawned on your heart, you discover that you are the real God. Do you get what I'm saying? You what? You discover that you are the real God. You see, any man who tells you, I cannot do this, and is only saying, oh, you know, he sees himself as somebody that, you see, I only have the ability for good. I cannot do this, I cannot do that. That man is an evil man. Is what? Is what? He's a dangerous man. And sometimes we're going to be very shocked by the time we find ourselves in what? In certain situations, and then we are wondering, is this what? Is this me? It's you, brother. No, I just lost my mind and then the devil took over me. Sorry. The devil, you are that do you understand what I'm saying? You are that devil. Stop being, oh my God. Do you get what I'm saying? Can't say this enough. And so non-duality, it's a very powerful understanding, all right, that produces gods, not slaves. You get what I just said? That what? That what? That produces gods. No dual understanding produces God. Do you understand? Or it makes a man rediscover himself in the light of God. In what? In the light of God. It makes a man rediscover himself in the light of, in the light of that, totality of being. Okay? And so you can ascribe every evil things and wicked things to the devil, and every good thing and what? To God. And then you are just there as what? As one that is, you do something, it was God that did it to this one. The devil is what? The devil is responsible. Then you become an irresponsible human being. Okay? And I wonder, what is the purpose of your instrument of operation? Okay? Are we together? Those of us online, are you following? So non-duality, you can see it captured in the symbolism of most musical traditions. And that will be the connotation for the word God. All right, the word God is coded, is a coded word. Generation, operation, and what? And a destroyer. That which is capable of generating is that which is capable of what? Of destroying, right? Right? Yes, that which is, that which is capable of, functioning is also capable of what? Of shutting down the operation, right? That which is capable of making alive is capable of what? Of killing. Say God does not kill. Sorry. If you can kill, God can kill. Do you understand? And I think the reason why Christianity is a fairy tale, right? Is because the God presented is a far cry from the reality of who we are as a man. And there is a contradiction somewhere, right? Because how come you say, oh, I hail from him, and yet all I'm capable of doing, he is not what? He is capable of all goodness, and he can't really do evil, right? And so me, I can say, oh, my nature got twisted. Where did I get the nature from? Him. So can his own nature get twisted? No. And so the incapability of what? Of his nature being twisted is not my reality. And so how come I hail from him? That's a contradiction. Okay? And so the essence of non-duality is to make you rise above the realm of opposites. Say with me, the realm of opposites. The realm of opposites. All right. So at this junction, I would like to say that the realm of opposites is a dimension of existence. Is what? It's a dimension of existence. All right. And so there is a sense in which people discuss about light and darkness. All right. Good and evil, and all of that. Okay. And then that account for the reason why we constantly struggle between these two opposite forces, right? As they, resurface in the space of our consciousness at a given level. But then the purpose of non-duality as a discourse, or non-duality as self-realization, is for you to rise above the realm of what? The realm of opposites. Okay? And the only one word that we can use religiously to describe that state that is beyond the realm of opposites is the word God. Is what? Is the word God religiously. Okay? Is the word God. This may not be the same word in some other mystical religions, but I think, in some aspect of mystical Christianity, this is what they will call what? This is what they will call God. And this God is not an objective entity that is looking down on you, from the sky or from the blues, right? It is a reality of a man who has risen above the realm of what? The realm of opposites. Do you understand? And that man, you call the man the whole what? The whole man. The whole man. WHOL what? E. The whole man. The total man. Okay? As long as man continues to live in fragmentation, man will never see the true essence of his being, all right, as the totality of existence itself. And what that means is anything that is capable of existing, you are. You what? You are. And so a man who says he is not capable of evil is a dangerous man. Is what? It's a dangerous man. Don't believe in such a man, right? What if you realize that God is capable of doing evil and yet he's never what? He's never done one. Not a function of ability, but a function of what? A function of choice. So don't speak of God as though he's only condemned for what? He doesn't have an ability to do something bad. So where did you get yours from? You get what I'm saying? From where did yours come from? And so you should be, you see, the purpose of this discourse is for you to be aware of all of your conditions, right? Yes. You are capable of killing. You are capable of, do you get what I'm saying? Yes. And that you are capable of that, it's something you must accept, right? If you must rise above that realm of opposites. A man must evolve to a point in his life where nothing is a contradiction in his consciousness, right? Because all that you see out there, it's a reflection of all that is in here. And when everything is coming from you, they come from you and they flow through the conduit of your what? Of your discretion, of your judgment, of your what? Of your judgment. Yes, I think the word judgment is the closest word I can use. Or it's a more qualifying word for my expression. It is only God that judges. Is what? Is what? It's only God that judges, but slaves receive judgments. Do you understand? Slaves do not judge. Slaves are victims of judgment. It is only God that does what? That judges. And this is the reality of one who has risen beyond the realm of opposites. He is the God, and as the God, he judges. And your judgment can be a flow, an expression of what? An expression of love. Of what? Of love. Do you understand what I mean by judgment now? Yes. Or am I communicating someone? It's only God that judge. Slaves don't what? Slaves don't judge. Right? And the reason why is it part of the thing that we are afraid to judge. Of course, there is no fear in love, right? Having love cast out fear. All of you understand that, right? But how come we are still being enslaved to fear? To religious what? Structure, right? To religious structure. Because we've not realized, we've not risen above what? That realm. That realm of opposites. To rediscover our very essence as God, the whole man, the totality of being. And this is why you've not been able to judge the structure, because you are afraid. Only slaves are what? Only slaves are afraid. Gods cannot be what? Cannot be afraid. And therefore, when you examine your psychic space and you find element of fear, where you find element of fear, there is slavery there. There's what? There's slavery there. And if you must rise and dissolve that mental slavery, then you must rediscover yourself as what? As the whole man. When you rediscover yourself as the whole man, then you judge the system. You what? You judge the system. And that's why the system can't contain people like us. Why? Because we are gods. Oh man. Because we are what? Because we are gods. We can't be a slave to the system because we have risen above what? See, if you don't follow this path, you're going to end up this way. The ending and the beginning is collapsed within where? is within our field, right? Do you understand? Do you get what I'm saying? Oh, the devil will molest you. Who is the devil that will molest you? I am the devil. I'm what? Can the devil molest the devil? No. My God is not against my devil, and my devil is not against my God. They are friends. They are what? They are friends, and both respect themselves. And you know the word God? The word God, like I said, generator, operational what? And a destroyer. All right? The God that only builds, that says he cannot destroy, don't believe the God. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you must not think that the word destruction is what? It's a bad word. When you want to renovate a house, what do? You put down some structures. And that's what you call deconstruction. When you reflect into yourselves, you realize that the devil aspect of you must play out, because certain things must go down. Certain mental mode must be deconstructed. And the expression of you that brings down those mental modes is the devil. And so there is he who builds, the same he who builds is the one who operates, and the one who operates is the one that destroys. And we consistently struggle because we are always identifying with the one who is building and says, no, it is the one that destroys is outside. And that's why we've been what? We've been slaves between these two opposite forces that actually we are, when we rediscover ourselves as the total man, as the old man. I think we'll dwell on it maybe in our next series. The whole what? Please remind me. The whole what? The whole man, the total man. Because we lack this basic understanding. Okay, now since I dropped all of that warlike kind of understanding between God and devil, who is molesting me? Do you understand what I'm saying? This is not, it doesn't mean that challenges does not come, but I walked gallantly. I walked gallantly through it. I don't have to start banking of heaven's door. God come in the head of me, come, to head me through and stuff like that. Right? I don't have an object and a subject split of vision. When the eyes is single, then the body is what? Is full of light. It talks about vision, the single feed of vision. When there is a single feed of vision, then there is the single feed of power. There is no duality in your field. When there is no duality in your field, then you judge. Only God judges. But slaves do what? Receive judgment. Do you get what I'm saying? Nobody, you see, let me tell you, nothing judges the whole man. Nothing judges the total man. Do you understand? Nothing judges the total man. Nothing judges the man who has risen beyond the realm of what? Of opposites. Such a man has discovered himself as God. Therefore, he is the one that judges. And so all of these are dimensions. Are what? Are dimensions. And so you must rise above the dimension of what? Of duality, right? Just as time is not a measurement of life, but a dimension of what? A dimension of life. And so you can operate in timeless what? In timelessness. And that's the quality of the now moment. When you are now, that is the realm of timelessness. All right? It does not exclude, it does not negate in utter exclusion the place of what? The place of time. All right? It just tells you time is a dimension. It's not a measurement of life. It's just a dimension. And as a dimension, you can function beyond what? Beyond that dimension. And those are expressions of what? Of life itself. Okay? And so, the realm of opposite is a dimension of consciousness. Just like form is what? Form is a dimension of consciousness. You realize that your body is not different from consciousness. Your body is actually consciousness, but consciousness in a given mode, right? It's in a given mode, but you cannot use the whole mode as the totality of consciousness itself. You're going to be limiting yourself, right? Yes. And so when you say I am not the body, it's not very correct, right? It's not very correct. You are actually the body, but you are not all of what? You are not all of the body. You are actually the body. And as a matter of fact, within the spectrum of time, the operation of your body takes over 80% of what goes on, right? Yes. Because what is the origin of your thoughts? They are the interrelated operation of your body senses, right? Talk to me. They are the what? The interrelational connections and workings, collective workings of your body organs. That is where your thought is coming from. The origin of your thought is your sensory organs, because it came from there. If you have not seen something, you can't think about it, right? It is only that which you see you think about, that which you feel you think about, that which, do you understand? You think about. So when body acts, thought is created. Thought is created from the action of the body. Therefore, the body is the origin of thought. And it works in a way that what the body creates in turn affects the body. And that's why whatever you sustain in your mental space, your body begin to what? Begin to give you a feedback system by the emotion you are feeling currently. Let's say you begin to think of something that happened 2 days ago. It has happened 2 days ago and it has gone. But then, maybe you were involved in something, in a fight or anything. All of your body were involved into that. And now you are sitting on the chair, your body is not fighting, but then you are feeling the emotion of that. Why? Because you're what? A thought has been created from that action, which is now in turn affecting the body and giving what? If you understand this, it's part of how you also take care of your body in terms of health-wise, in terms of the role of one's mindset, that the role of one's mindset in relation to the your body. Do you get what I'm saying? In relation to the quality of your body, in relation to handling your body. Do you get what I'm saying? All right. And so I was talking about something before I diverted. Yes, I talked about the whole man, right? Yes. I was talking about the realm of opposite as a dimension of what? As a dimension of a man, right? It's a dimension. You can choose to function between opposite and keep fighting, right? And what? Keep fighting. Keep wanting to be righteousness as against sin. All right? And by the time you keep wanting to be righteousness as against sin, then righteousness has a given what? Righteousness has been ascribed, sin has been ascribed what? A level of power. What you may call sin, right? Has been ascribed a level of power, fighting against your level of, what you may call the power of righteousness. And so you become a pawn between two opposite power. Do you get what I'm saying? You can choose to function, you can choose to function, between light and darkness. Just any opposite, you can choose to function in that, and that's your business. All right, but don't think that the realm of opposite is the totality of existence itself. Life exists in dimensions, right? So also are the possibilities. You get what I'm saying? You can't say anything that goes up comes down. There are some things that will go up, they remain up. The what? They remain up. You get what I'm saying? You can shoot something now, and that thing if that thing can travel more than the speed of light and goes out of the planet Earth, it may never return back to where? It may never return back to planet Earth. You get what I'm saying? And so that something goes up, comes down is just a dimension of possibility. You get what I'm saying at all? And so there is a dimension, or there are endless possibilities of consciousness, all right, that is beyond the realm of duality, and one can function in that realm of duality. One's understanding of life can stem out of that understanding. And what I'm saying is that the repercussion of that is that you rediscover yourself as what? As God. Do you understand so far? All right. The whole man. Okay? And so let everything become a mirror, right? Have a single field of vision. Whatever that you take to be against you, all right, immediately assume the power that you have given what? That you have given it. Okay? All right. Any question? We just have less than 35 minutes to go. Any question? I always like to talk for at most 1 hour 30 minutes so that I can we can have room for people to ask questions and contribute if possible. And if you have a question online, you can put it down. So what do you think? You can speak. Okay. Yeah.
That sense of validation of course, that place of meaning comes when you are evaluated. You are not lost. You are not lost in the memory, but you are deciding how it should be. It's not a rule like you are being frustrated by a rule. But in that moment, you are able to decide that you are not, there's no that sense of regret because you are judged, you are validated, you validate whatever happens.
Yes.
You are not frustrated, you are not, whatever has happened. But that sense of value take over because you are not trying to do something new.
Yes.
You are not trying to do something bad.
Yes.
You are just okay, you are just validating whatever happened. So I just feel it's a work that you see that those are those sense of regrets and whatever I find ourselves, we just have the word and that sense.
Wow. Wow. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. That means we should look into our psychic structure, and there should not be a thing that we don't call us. Do you understand? That you say, oh, this is not me. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't deny. You don't, one thing about the expression of a man who is whole in himself is that he doesn't walk on the path of denial, right? Because there's nothing to what? There's nothing to deny. There's nothing to set as apart from you. All right? You are whole. And because you are whole, battle ceases against the other. There is no order against which you are fighting, right? Yes. That is where you live a life that is a complete marriage of peace and chaos. Of what? Of peace and chaos. A complete marriage of peace and chaos. Right? In mystical tradition, in some mystical traditions, I think in Christianity and also in Hinduism, yes, in Hinduism, there is I think you can also find this in Hasidism or in those Kabbalah talk, right? where they talk about the Prince of Peace. You know who the Prince of Peace is? The Prince of Peace is one, all right? It's one, against which there is no chaos. What that means is the marriage of peace and what? Is the marriage of peace and chaos. And so the word peace there is not, as you understand, like calmness. The word peace would mean whole. You get what I'm saying? Would mean whole. I can't recall how it was described in Hinduism, right? And so one can look within his own psychic structure and see the harmony of what? The harmony of all, right? Where the marriage of peace and chaos do what? Takes place. And of course, all of this is an understanding. Is what? It's an understanding. Don't always forget that. It's an understanding. It's an understanding. Out of that understanding, we flourish a quality kind of life that you've always wished to live. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes. Okay. And so I really want you to look deeply into this. All right. And look deeply into this and understand it. Understand it. All right. Understand it. Rise above this non-dual way of thinking. People still have that divided way of thinking. When people most times when they talk about God, just God now, they still talk about God in what? In an object and a subject split. That's a dual, it's a dual way of thinking. All right? It's a dual way of thinking. Okay? We must rise above duality, to non-duality. Oneness. All right? So, that's it for today. Anybody online for anything? Question, observation, contribution, anything? Or you are completely okay with this? Because I'm rounding off right away. So beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. All right. I love you guys. Stay connected. Next week, we go even deeper, and the following week we round off, take a break, and then come back for lectures. We keep evolving, we keep learning, we keep understanding, and we keep living the love life. Love you so much. Stay good.